I did actually get to attend the Australian Open this year. I did get to go to Australia. I saw Jannik Sinner play against Rublev. I was on my way back in the final, but I was score watching. I was watching. I was reading Twitter. I was watching all the Twitter feeds and seeing all the updates on my Twitter feed. And then I did watch the match once I got to the US. So I saw everything, but I was score watching on my phone. And man, I think Jannik Sinner, he is him. Like, to beat Djokovic, the GOAT, in his fortress. Like, Djokovic is already a god in any tennis court he walks into. Any tennis court he's playing at, he's a god. He's a man amongst gods. He's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. He's bigger than tennis in any tennis court that he walks into. But in Melbourne, in Australia, at the Australian Open, he is damn near unbeatable. He hadn't lost in like over 2,000 days, I believe. Some crazy stat. He is a walking god in Melbourne. Like, that's his tournament. He's him. For Sinner at 21, 22 years old, I believe 22 years old, to beat him in the semis. Beat him 3 out of the last 4 times he's played him, to just in 4 sets. Didn't even go 5. He beat him in 4 sets. Djokovic did look like he was tired. He was missing a lot of unforced errors, but take nothing away from Djokovic. Take nothing away from Sinner. He deserved that. He was on fire. He didn't drop a set till the semifinals to Djokovic, and then he came back from 0-2 against Medvedev. Just amazing stuff by Sinner. Like, it's really the Sinner, Alcaraz, and Djokovic era right now. It's those two young guns, and Djokovic still. This was a hiccup on the road, but he's still always going to be competing for slams. At least this year, probably next year. We'll see how his body keeps up, but it really seems like it's those 3 competing for slams. Medvedev, a little bit below those 2. He's like the next second tier. And then after Medvedev, there's like a gap. And then it's like Zverev and Tsitsipas and Rublev. And it does feel like that next generation has surpassed that next generation. It looks like Zverev, Tsitsipas, Rublev, they might not ever get a slam, to be honest. Like, their time might have passed. It felt like it was this was the tournament for Zverev or Medvedev to get their first or second, respectively, a slam, but it didn't happen. It's Sinner's time, and he seems like such a good kid. Like, from all the clips I watch of ATP on Instagram, on YouTube, he just looks like he's always smiling, always having a good time. Super down to earth guy, it seems like, and just strikes the ball so hard. He's a great player. Super happy for Sinner. Like I said, I did get to attend the Australian Open this year. Amazing experience, worth the 16.5-hour flight from San Francisco, 15 hours back this way. It was crazy stuff, but it was worth it. Like I said, it was an amazing experience. I did get to go to the US Open last year, and I will say that I kind of prefer the Australian Open. I don't know if it was because I was in a new country and I was just wide-eyed, looking everywhere. Everything was like so cool to me, but something about the Australian Open, something about Rod Laver Arena, that the way it's designed, there's only one entrance to go down and up. It just felt so cool being there. I do wish I get a chance to go back, but who knows? It is kind of far and it is pretty expensive to go, but amazing experience. I'm super glad that more young players are winning slams. I think it's good for the sport that players win slams while Djokovic is still like a great player. So once he's gone, we get to like not diminish their accomplishments by saying, damn, they didn't win anything till Djokovic retired. Like this generation's not as good. Like, I know that would be a thing if Alcaraz and Sinner and Medvedev, to a degree, never won a slam while Djokovic was still reigning supreme, and then he retires and then they win their slams, it would kind of diminish it a little bit. Like, yeah, and like no one really got to get one when he was still here towards the end of the big 3, end of Djokovic. For them to win some while he's still, top dog, number 1 in the world, I think it's good for tennis going forward. And I'm super happy for Sinner, super happy that I got to go to Australian Open. It was a great time. We'll see. I got to hit up Wimbledon and French Open next. We'll see. Probably not this year because it's a lot of money. But we'll see when I get to hit it. Shout out to my boy McKenna, who passed away last year. Motivated me to go see the world and experience life to the fullest, because we don't know how much time we have in this world. Shout out to my boy McKenna. Shout out to Australian Open for having a great tournament. Shout out to Sinner, Sabalenka too. I didn't get to talk about Sabalenka, but she's amazing. I love Sabalenka. She ran through the whole tournament. There's nothing to talk about Sabalenka. She just ran through the whole tournament, dominated the whole women's WTA, just dominated everybody. Back-to-back Australian Opens. Shout out to Sabalenka. Shout out Sinner. Great Australian Open.